Hello everyone, MFPallytime here. Welcome back to the A through Z playthrough. In today's video, we're taking a look at Yrel. She was added into the game on June 12th in 2018, and I loved her from the get-go. I thought she was super fun. However, the resounding opinion from the community, I remember this so clearly, everyone thought she was super duper underpowered. Yrel's shtick is that all of her basic abilities have a channel time where they start kind of weak, but then reach maximum power after the channel. It was really weird to get used to, I'll admit it, but as you know, Paladin's kind of in my name, I really dove headfirst into the Paladin playstyle here. In fact, the Hammer of the Naru was one of my favorite weapons in WoW. I used this in a lot of transmogs in my time. There were a few talents that I really enjoyed. One of those was Maraud's Insight. The other was Holy Wrath. Both of these auto-attack focused. So Yrel was able to like jump in, put down Sacred Ground, reduce the damage she was taking quite considerably, and then trade really hard with self-heals and bonus damage. Well, I was showing off this playstyle quite a lot, and eventually it caught on. People really started picking it up. Now, I'm not saying that I'm the only reason. My ego's not that big. But I'm bringing this up because it was my favorite way to play, and eventually it was nerfed. And this kind of free damage, even when you don't fully channel ability playstyle, was kind of scaled back in favor of buffing talents like Righteous Momentum, making stuff like Templar's Verdict much better to use. And again, another reason I bring up these talents is because I didn't realize over the course of Yrel's development, her win rate has been really low. They've actually nerfed her, buffed her several times over the last few years, trying to get that win rate back in the right direction. And these talents that I used to love are kind of back to their former glory. And I didn't realize that. And I didn't use them in today's video. So we kind of have a reason to take a look at Yrel again when all of this is done. And that's kind of exciting. There were some fun bugs with Yrel. For instance, Bubble Hearth. If you were Divine Palmed by a Charism and then you used Bubble Hearth, you could actually use it during that stasis resurrection phase. So you would be immune, then you would put a bubble around yourself to go double immune. And for the rest of the game, you could no longer take damage. That was pretty fun. Glad they caught that one pretty fast. Her win rate right now is an abysmal 43.94%, second lowest in the game, just above Medivh. She has a popularity of only 3.2% and a ban rate of 0.3%. In fact, if we sort by popularity, Yrel is in the bottom 3 least picked or banned characters in the game. And it's such a shame because she's so fun to play when you get it right. Today's game was pretty fun, and after it, I actually booted up the game and played some more. I was having a good time, even after some frustrating Zool recording sessions earlier the same day. Thank you guys for being here. Hope you enjoy the episode, and I will see you again very soon. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we find ourselves on the Infernal Shrines today. The friendly team, Yrel, Nova, Gul'dan, Jaina, and Brightwing. The enemy team, Stukov, Nazebo, Diva, Sembro, and Thrall. At level 1, we are going to go for increase Vindication's radius by 15%. Hitting an enemy hero increases Vindication's healing by 45%. If more than one hero is hit, the bonus is increased to 90. This just makes our Q ability a little bit better in the thick of fights. Now, our Q ability, and really all of our abilities, that's kind of Yrel's shtick, have charge phases. So I could just press the button, and then if I hold it for this duration, it has an increased effect. You can use your trait, which is Divine Purpose, to make any of your spells skip the charging phase and allow you to get right into the good parts of playing Yrel. Speaking of which, let's jump on Diva, try to do some damage here. Instant cast our heal to get more of it, and knock those guys away with our W ability. We have a lot of control in fights. However, we can also be bullied a lot in fights if things don't go well. Knockback on Thrall, pushing him into the corner. We might be able to jump ahead of him as well, but it looks like most of the team has stopped following me at this point. We're just going to knock everyone away here and continue to casually make my way out. Yrel's best moments are when she can show off just how tanky and disruptive she can be. However, I find the more that I play her, the fewer those moments actually matter. I really enjoyed Yrel when she was first released, but ever since they changed some of the key parts of her kit that I really enjoyed, it's been hard to get back into this character. Top lane needed its XP soaked, so we are going to jump right in there and immediately turn around and use our instant cast stun to send the mech of D.Va right into the wall. She's trying to build up for her nuke. Let's try to get her out of here before she can. But of course, she also has the capability of boosting away. As long as I get her in range when I use my heal, we're going to be healed up for even more. With Thrall re-emerging, we're going to jump forward and stun D.Va out of that mech. Brightwing teleporting up to me means I can stay out here even longer. Jumping in on Pilot D.Va, kicking her into the wall, but unfortunately, this is the main problem. I'm doing all of this stuff that takes a lot of coordination. It's using up a lot of my mana. It's taking a lot of time with all of these charges, and what happens? The squishiest character in the game just walks away from me. There's not enough damage to make me a threat. There's not enough damage for me to make anyone worry about their safety. They just walk away. We are going to go for a gift of the Naru. Divine Purpose heals allies. I actually think this is one of the funnest parts of playing Yrel. You can actually help out your allies in a lot of different ways other than dealing damage. Don't get me wrong. I just feel like I need a little something here. Give me a little something. Now, I am being a little unfair. The W playstyle for Yrel does pack a little bit of a punch later on, and we can end up spamming out this ability quite a bit. However, the early game leaves me very frustrated. I've always felt like her lane clear is abysmal, her mana consumption is way too high, and she's supposed to be this solo lane character, right? Because she's nice, tanky, and sturdy. You want her up in the top lane so she can defend herself. However, she just gets nothing done. She just gets nothing done. At least in my experience. You guys may feel a little different. We're just going to walk up here and act like we own the place, because we do. Instant casting our stun to keep these guys back. Thrall's moving in pretty aggressively. I'm about to be booped out of here by a big old nuke, but I should be fine. Brightwing teleporting in on me again just to make sure that we are okay. And I mean, look at that. This is worth mentioning. After that huge engagement by the enemy team, what happens? I go right back in as if nothing is wrong. The silence of Stukov and the zombie wall of Nazebo keeping me locked down for quite some time. The enemy team is winning on the objective right now. I want to jump in and help. I need to be careful though. Big heal. And then we have to go back in. While all of this was happening, the enemy team is gathering demon after demon after demon, and it looks like the first objective is going to be coming towards us. Rather than me staying here, I have no damage to help with the Immortal. It would be in my best interest to just leave and go start soaking XP. Literally, I could spend all of my mana on this thing and it wouldn't matter at all. What does matter is getting these XP globes and getting our team closer to level 7. Now, unfortunately, that front wall went down pretty quickly. Someone thought it would be a good idea to be down there at the bottom of the screen, and the enemy team will likely get that building for free. But that's okay. We're level 7 now, and we can get Holy Avenger. Hitting an enemy hero with Avenging Wrath and maximum charge deals 25% more damage and reduces its cooldown to 1 second. So we are starting to get a little bit of a damage increase here, at least. A little something something. I really thought this objective would be done by now, which is why I never rotated down, but it seems as though it's still going and actually picking up a kill on our Brightwing there as well. We're gonna jump in and just knock that D.Va around a little bit. She does have her nuke soon right now, but we actually forced her out of the mech. That's really valuable. No reason to chase this at all. None whatsoever. I'm just gonna clear the lane, mount up, and go somewhere else. We don't really have much in the way of helping to take mercenary camps. I mean, we can use our W ability. Don't get me wrong, that's a little something. But it also just kind of like, I just ruined Brightwing's AoE there. Like, she could have done more damage to the minion wave than I did, and I just displaced it all. Looks like Bribe from Nova is going to secure that camp, though. I'm glad the team is doing that. That's usually my favorite thing to do. It always feels weird when I can't do it. Always feels strange. I think we rotate down and try to help Brightwing here. She's in a bit of a mess. The friendly team nowhere really nearby. We might be able to jump in on Thrall. Yeah, knocking him past Gul'dan. We're also going to get a big heal off here. Not that we really need it. If the friendly team starts doing damage, that would be great. Let's charge up our stun, knock these guys around with it. I also have a heal here as well. But if the friendly team's not going to kill anybody, then no one's going to fucking die, are they? Big stun on these guys, but again, they're just walking out without a care in the world. I mean, I'm not playing Imperious, right? So I should just get used to moments like that where I'm going in, giving it my all and trying to be disruptive. But then, I mean, even look at my damage. We're doing damage, but it's kind of all just AoE non-consequential stuff. It's like the difference between the damage of a Kael'thas versus an Illidan, you know what I mean? Illidan's damage is usually focused on a single target. He's trying to get that kill. Whereas, like, Kael'thas is just spreading bombs around and it's hitting everybody. We have hit level 10. This is a huge spike for us. I really like Sacred Ground, so that's what I'm going to use, especially on a map like this where we can fight over these shrines. I think it's super fun. It allows us to basically claim an area for ourselves, and then anyone who comes into that area and tries to fight me will be dealing 50% less damage. I thought it was 45. It's actually even less than that. 50% less damage. And of course, all the while that's happening, we're still casting our heals, we're still displacing people. The main limiting factor is that unfortunately we can't leave the Sacred Ground area too easily. The friendly team does pick up a couple kills right before the objective is happening. That is great to see, and it looks like with Samuro poking around they might get one more. I am going to start the objective right away. Let's also ping for some assistance here. No one else on our team is even in the same zip code as us, so I don't think this will be a quick job by any means, but we can at least start it. I'm gonna full cast a heal and then instant cast my stun, and as you can see, that's not even enough damage to kill this stuff still, even though usually when you think about AoEs, you think about AoEs being really effective in situations like this. The team has joined us. It's looking pretty good. Brightwing on the other side of the map can teleport in whenever her phase shift is ready. Jaina fighting underneath us does have mana this time, so that's good. We should be able to hold this down no problem. Now, one thing I have seen a lot of Yrels not do enough when they use Sacred Ground is simply using the ability. It feels weird to have an ult that you could spam out, but this thing has a 40-second cooldown. So even if you drop it and just take, I don't know, a few hits from the enemy team, that's still getting value because in a few seconds you'll be able to drop another one. We're going to heal Nova just by using our trait and then instant casting something, and we can actually keep these guys alive quite well with a strategy like that. So as they're running away, we are just going to instant cast a heal. Not only is that healing us, but it's healing them as well. Punisher still moving in. I thought that was the real Samuro. I guess I was right because we got him right as he swapped to another location. Punisher got next to no value here, unfortunately. Didn't get anything close to that building killed, but we do knock back Diva into our group. We land on top of her with our slow, and we do manage to take her down. We're going to get Velen's Chosen now. This is going to give us spell power every time we fully channel an ability and hit an enemy with it. The spell power does add up, so I'm hoping it will be enough for us to really start to take control of this match. As I was diving in there, we see Stukov actually silencing me, so I couldn't do too much of my combo. Thrall engaging now. Let's get right behind him if he lets me. Indeed. Sacred Ground being popped as well. We knocked Thrall back into our team. Is anyone dealing damage? There it is. Stukov on our, Samuro on our back line is taking some damage as well, but it looks like Gul'dan's fine. We'll just instant cast anything to get him healed back up. Another tip I can give you if you're interested in playing Yrel is make sure that if you go for that healing talent that I did, that you don't just sit on your trait cooldown. It can be easy to like press the trait and then hold on to it, waiting for the moment you want to instant cast something. However, traveling around the map with this ready does you nothing, especially if you're trying to heal your allies. So make sure that you never do this. You want to cast it right away, because the heal actually happens on the press of your trait, not the press of the instant cast ability that your trait is giving. Enemy team pushing in yet again. This looks kind of spicy. Let's do it. Sacred Ground is active. We're going to knock back the enemy team's diva. AoE to keep ourselves alive, and I can keep this going. They're really not dealing too much damage to me. I'm trying to get them a little closer to my Sacred Ground, but if I have to jump out of this, that's not the end of the world either. Stukov helping make that decision for me, though, knocking us back, but at what cost? The Ring of Frost is able to finish him off after that. We see the enemy team's Zebo trying to run away. I can't get him, but I can hit Diva and then try to hold right here for as long as possible. Looks like that's gonna be it. Now, again, I don't want to sound like I was just shitting on Yrel. I mean, she is the second lowest win rate for a reason, I feel like, and she was actually way more fun when she first released. But, like, she is a phenomenal defensive powerhouse. And I think especially if you're playing with friends or, like, a coordinated team, she brings so much to the table. But, you know, quick match isn't that. At all. That's not what quick match is. I'm assuming the real Samuro is on the left. He can swap out. I believe he's this one right now. Unrevealable, but we reveal him anyway. And we got him! Nice polymorph from our Brightwing, keeping him from teleporting away. Now with the deaths of the enemy team staggered, we can move in for some big gains on this objective. I'm just gonna fully charge this and walk towards him. That's it. Nice and easy. I picked the wrong talent at level 7, and I just noticed. My bad. I meant to go for Righteous Momentum. I was wondering why I felt so slow. It gives you movement speed increases when you're running around with your W held, so I'm pretty sluggish at the moment. Usually I can move around team fights a little bit easier. I feel stupid for not noticing until now. We have a triple tap coming out from our Nova onto the enemy team's Nazabwa. I was planning on jumping in front of Thrall there to knock him back for the friendly team, but this is looking great. We only need 9 more monsters to make this happen. If Samuro's fighting me, I'm just going to cast Sacred Ground, stun him here, jump on top of him a moment later, and see if we can do it again. Now, that's not to say that our choice of talents was a bad thing. It means I can hop around team fights a little bit more. There's just better synergies that you can get with Holy Avenger, namely Repentance? No, maybe? Isn't there one where you can give people armor? Where is that? Oh, it's a level 4. It's a level 4. So if I went for Aegis of Light and Holy Avenger, that would be a really good combination. We just kind of, you know, we dipped our toes in the water for each of these, basically. We do see a root happening as Jaina is pushing down that Nazebo. The enemy team with 3 members dead and a 2-level deficit at the moment as we are pushing up to their tier 2 defenses. I'm not worried at all about this building damaging me. In fact, we're going to jump in on Thrall and make sure that we secure that kill. Somehow Nova did that. I think it was with an auto attack through the wall. And once again, I'm going to practice what I preach. We know our team wants to fight here, so let's fight here. Sacred Ground being used. That's the real diva right there. I don't know where the fake one would be, but we secure the kill with the Goomba Stomp, jumping right on to her head. Now, a little bit of time left. I'm going to focus on this building. My damage is pretty low, but we're actually getting the attention of the enemy team really well. They don't need to be focusing me at all. I don't know why they are. Stun on Samuro, the real one, moving this way. We can channel a heal as well. There it is. Could not use my AoE knockback because of that great silence by Stukov, but the friendly team is still able to move in and secure that building. Level 20 is right around the corner here. We're going to be getting it any second. Especially with so many of these buildings dead, that increases our passive XP rate, gets us to the late game a little bit faster. Top lane's got a pretty big minion wave up there, but I don't think it's going to get too much more value now that it's actually in tower range. And it looks like whatever fighting was happening down here is mostly over at the moment. Thrall trying to hold off the barrage of spears flying towards him from all of these mercenary camps, but healing up just fine. I'm still amazed by how much healing Thrall can do. I literally had no idea. Avenging Wrath move Sacred Ground. You know what? This might be fun with the Holy Avenger. Hitting an enemy hero with Holy Avenger at maximum charge deals 25% more damage and reduces its cooldown to a second. Yeah, fuck it. Let's go. Let's give it a go. I don't remember the last time I picked this talent, but I think it could work here. I love Bubble Hearth. I think it's so trolly. I think it's so funny how hard you can engage and then just peace out at the last second. I used Bubble Hearth a lot in show matches a lot just because I think it was an exciting moment for the crowd to really get behind. When Yrel goes in hard and then she just pieces out like it's nothing. Stun onto Nazebo. We're also jumping onto the back line here. Sacred Ground into a big AoE heal, knocking back Nazebo towards our Nova so she can keep dealing that damage as well. And I mean, how does this work? Oh, it literally just moves. One thing to note too is, what if I instant cast my... Oh, that works. Nice. One thing to notice too is that our cooldown for Sacred Ground is ticking away even while Sacred Ground is active. So it really is a short cooldown that you can have up quite a lot. D.Va trying to hold this final wall in the top lane. Thrall continuing to soak XP in the middle lane with 3 members of the enemy team dead. We're kind of moving in here, boys. We're kind of moving in here. I'm just going to walk right up, put this down. Even if the tower hits me, the keep hits me, I believe my armor scaling would stay ahead of the armor debuff that it's giving me. So we're actually super tanky in this situation. Hold on, next objective's up in the top lane. I'm on my way. Let's just get a hop here. And then wait. And then we'll get a hop here. And then wait. And eventually the cooldown will just be ready again and none of this fucking matters. The objective is happening right now. We see Nova in the middle lane poking at these guys, and the real Jaina is holding her ground. You're right. I guess it's just going to be me and Gul'dan here. Let's set up like we're going to own the place. The rest of the enemy team is fighting this fight middle lane over absolutely nothing. Let's be clear. Our team is dominating this match, but this fight is fucking worthless. If we got a single death here, that could have changed the outcome of the game. In fact, it still might. If the enemy team rotates up here quickly, we might actually be in trouble. We are going to stun Samuro. Unfortunately, I pushed them out of the fear. I don't think that's the real one. Real Samuro is coming back in right now. We're going to instant cast our stun on Thrall. Oh, and we are taken out of our protection area. Well, let's jump in on Stukov. I'm also going to try to heal off of as many members as I can here. Drop our Sacred Ground and then move it out of that explosion. I didn't want to take that damage. We can fight on the edge of this. Oh, I'm jumping back in. I'm jumping back in. Here we go. Perfect Sacred Ground, stopping D.Va in her tracks. Stukov can't go this way either because we're going to stun him. And if we need to, we can continue to move this. Stukov using his silence on me does get me out of my jump. The spiders of Nazebo would usually be a massive threat, but they're not doing anything to us. Like literally nothing. The enemy team is starting to get some traction on the objective, though, so let me jump on Stukov, turn my knockback into an instant cast, and try to kill him with the heal. I couldn't quite do it, but the friendly team moves in to secure it, and with that, we get the Arcane Punisher, the strongest of the objectives on this map. 4 members of the enemy team are dead, and this should be a pretty easy core if all things go well. This was the least frustrating game I played on Yrel, and I think I did 8 practice matches leading up to this video. I did misclick that talent. That kind of sucked. But I think we made some interesting use out of it. It was actually kind of fun. It was kind of fun moving that thing around. I want to stress that Sacred Ground is not the most popular talent at level 10. A lot of people really just like to take the bubble and then be done with damage, and I totally agree with that. That's super strong. But on a map like Infernal Shrines, where you know you're going to be standing in one spot for extended periods of time, it can be quite fun. We managed to soak 42% of our team's team fight damage, and I am very proud of that, especially considering how much Stukov was targeting me and making our life really, really difficult. Well, that's going to do it for Yrel. Talents we used in today's video: Light of Karabor, Gift of the Naru, Holy Avenger, Sacred Ground, Velen's Chosen, Templar's Verdict, and then Hallowed Ground at level 20. Again, at level 7, I must have misclicked that. I always go for Righteous Momentum, but I somehow said this is my favorite. Maybe I'm using the wrong build or something. Divine Steed used to be my favorite, but quite simply, Righteous Momentum makes the entire W build feel a lot better, and that's why I kind of felt out of place most of this game. I was like, I'm supposed to be moving, right? I'm supposed to actually be chugging along here, and that just never happened. That's going to do it for today's video, everybody. Hope you enjoyed it. Next episode, we're taking a look at Zagara. I'll see you guys next time.